What's up, Amazon sellers? Can you make £2,000 a month selling on Amazon doing online arbitrage? Well, quite simply, yes, I'm doing it and I'm making more right now. I'm going to show you in this video how I do it and also break it down for you so you too can replicate that process. Stay tuned. Hey guys, if you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Parkinson and I've been selling on Amazon now for 4 years. And right now I'm on a mission to do £1 million in revenue over the next 18 months. I'll drop a link up there to that video. Have a look, it's going to really help you out if you're just starting in Amazon and want to see maybe an 18-month period and a budget and a plan, something to think about over the next couple of months for you and your Amazon business. Now, enough about me. What are we going to be talking about in this video today? Number one, I'm going to talk about where I am in my business right now. Number two, I'm going to share with you how I made my first £2,000 profit in my Amazon business. Number three, I'm going to share with you what I did wrong so that you can learn from my mistakes. Number four, I'm going to share with you how you too can make your first £2,000 in your Amazon business, and I'll break it down step by step. And then finally, number five, I'm going to give you some top tips and tricks and personal advice for myself about making your first £2,000 to help you out. So let's get into it now. Before you do anything, just drink coffee. You can't make £2,000 without drinking coffee, I promise you. Okay, so first things first, where am I now in my business? Well, quite simply, earlier on in the video, I talked about my road to £1 million over the next 18 months. That is what I'm looking to achieve in revenue. Now, revenue isn't profit, as they say. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity. I will drop a link up here to my Q4 update, so you can see that's like the second quarter of that challenge over the 18 months. And what it does, it basically outlines my revenues, all my costs, and then my profits. Now, in that video, quite simply, what I said is basically over the period, I'll check it now, is I did something like £209,000 in revenue over that quarter, Q4, but it kind of netted out. So how much money did we make? So total net profit, and that's what we're really interested in. And this includes my salary, because obviously it's available to take home. I made £14,099. Now, quite simply, I did forecast to make 14,384, but I only made 14,099. Still not bad, I'd definitely take that. And what does that average out per month? Well, quite simply, right now in my Amazon business, after VAT, costs of running my business, before corporation tax, I'm quite simply making 4,700. So I have the ability to take that much out of my business if I want, but most of the time I only need to probably take 1,500, maybe 2,000 out of my business and then reinvest the rest. So quite simply, that is what I'm doing. Now, that leads me quite nicely on to number two. How did I make my first £2,000? Well, this was quite a long time ago. This was like, if I'm right, it's probably about 2018 I made my first £2,000. And the reason why I kind of say that is throughout my history and where I've learned and what I've seen is that I have very kind of ups and downs, which is quite common, and I'll share that with you. But quite simply is that I think it was back in probably August 2018, we did our first £2,000 worth of revenue. But the one thing I really remember is that in the next month I only made 500. Why? Because basically we didn't buy enough stock, we invested a lot of money in it, and also we had some stock control problems. So we weren't shifting the stock that we needed to, and in 1 month we shifted a lot, and then the next month we didn't have so much to sell. So quite simply, I've made £2,000, and obviously now I make a lot more, but interesting enough, it's not like you hit the £2,000 mark and then voila, it's always up. No, not at all. This is a business, it's a roller coaster. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up. It's about building stable income. It's about building stable actions for you in the business to generate the revenue, which will generate the profits, and obviously that kicks income for you. So quick question for you guys, if you've just started on Amazon, or maybe even you've been selling on Amazon a long time, let me know, how long did it take you to create your first £2,000 worth of profit in your business? Or maybe you've just started, even the 1,000. Let me know in the comments down below. Was it a couple of months? Was it a year? Was it 2 years? Are you reinvesting? What's the situation? Let me know down below. So that leads me quite nicely on to number three. What did I do wrong? Now, I think this is really important to talk about. Why? Because quite simply, I was a bit stupid. I will not lie, I did a lot of things wrong. I've made a lot of mistakes in my business. I took way too long to get where I needed to be, and I kind of just coasted. And I think if anyone's watching this video, you can learn from what I've done wrong and maybe hopefully get your business up to speed a lot quicker. So I'll go through that now. Number one, I just took on too many costs. You got to think about it, your fixed costs, and these are things like software tools. I just took on too many too soon. They increased my cost base, and every month I had to earn a certain amount of revenue just to pay for them. I still remember this day looking at my revenue figures or my cost figures and working out my profit margin and saying I had to do at least £10,000 worth of sales every single month just to break even. And you're like, that's a big ask when you're first starting out. So really, really important there. Don't take on too many costs. And I would just say it to you, be very, very careful about what costs you take on. All these, you need these software tools. Generally, you don't. You can actually get by with a lot less than you think. So see if you can cut down those costs, make such a difference. Now, quite simply, in line with taking on extra costs, if you know anything about my journey, and I've talked about it, is I did what's known as reinventing the wheel. Instead of understanding what other people did and copying their model, I basically went out and developed software. I created a massive database, I created scraping software, I hired specialists in, I started working with the Amazon NWS APIs, I worked with Keeper APIs, amalgamated it all, and to this day we are benefiting from that. But what did it do? It actually slowed down my initial progress towards £1,000 or £2,000 profit in my business. Why? Because I was spending hundreds upon hundreds of pounds on software tools that no one else was doing, like AWS databases, scraping software like Scraping Hub, Upwork professionals. It was just too much. You didn't need to do it. And had I done it again, I'd be much better to keep with a simple model, i.e. don't reinvent the wheel, keep with a simple model, make the profits first, and then reinvest that in maybe software tools later on. But quite simply, don't reinvent the wheel. Now, my third problem that I did is quite simply I hired an admin VA first. Now, I'm not saying hiring an admin VA is wrong, not at all, but quite simply, when you're building a business, you want to generate cash first, not increase your costs. So I always say this to people, admin VAs are great, you should get sourcing VAs first. Why? Because they'll give you consistency in deals, which will give you consistency in revenue and consistency in profit. And then that profit you can use to hire an admin VA and absorb their cost. But what did I do? I increased my costs first without increasing my revenue. So bad mistake there. Now, the other one, which I'll say number 4, quite simply, and this is a common mistake, I was not in control of my accounts and my stocks. What do I mean by that is I was not keeping on top of my bookkeeping. I was not making sure that all my accounts were up to date all the time. I wasn't fully clear on what was working and what wasn't working in my business. Even simple things like software, profit analysis software, I just really wasn't updated on. But I did eventually get that in, and I even started updating my Xero and getting all that done as well. So I'd really recommend keeping on top of your numbers. At the end of the day, we are here to make profit, not revenue. Get on top of that profit. So quite simply, I think I did a lot of things wrong. And as a result, I take 4 years to go to $1 million, but I think I could do that a lot quicker if I wanted to again. So quite simply, learn from those top tips, learn from my mistakes, and accelerate your own journey much, much quicker. Okay, so that leads me quite nicely on to number 4. How can you make $2,000 a month in profit? Now, before I jump into this, I'm just going to kind of give a kind of overview. There are 2 ways you can generally do this within the UK. Number 1, you can do something what's known as stay under the VAT threshold. Right now in 2021, I think it's about $85,000 a year. And there's a good friend of mine, Dan Gilmore, who pretty much does this. He works a couple of hours a week, he stays under the VAT threshold, and he just goes for really high ROI items, but doesn't sell huge volumes. Really good, keeps the admin down, and it does work, but you've got to know what you're doing. And if you're interested in learning more about that, watch this video up here. He's going to talk through that in that interview that I did with him. Very interesting guy, very smart guy, and he talks through that. Now, the majority of the time is that what you're looking at is not just to make $2,000 a month. You're probably looking to go $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. So Dan Gilmore's model, whereby staying under the VAT threshold, generally doesn't work because you can't scale it too much higher. But if you are looking to scale bigger, then what you want to do is go over the VAT threshold. So this example I'll give now in how to grow to £2,000 profit is about going over the VAT threshold and what that looks like. What I will also add is this example is a conservative estimate. You could do so many tweaks on this to improve certain margins, certain areas of it, and smash this absolutely out of the ballpark. But I'm trying to be conservative in it, not give you an ideal situation. So I'm going to break this, how to make £2,000 profit per month, down into 4 steps. Now, I'll talk you through each step, and then also I've got a bit of a financial overlay for you as well, so you can see the actual financial numbers that you're going to need to achieve to help you get there, i.e. targets. So first things first, what do I recommend? Build a list of all your deals that you are finding. People call them replenishables, people call them, should we say, they are the deals that they're finding, the deals that they're rebuying. Now, within my business, I classify a replenishable as anything I've purchased already within the last year. So it might be that there's a product that's on sale in January and again in September. Now, in September when I bought it, it's a replenishable because it's an old deal that I found and I'm just rebuying it because it's now at the right price. Now, if I give you an insight, in my business, and we're doing like £13,000 to £17,000 worth of purchases a week, 65 to 75% of my purchases every single week are from replenishable items. What does that mean? It means that only 30% of the items I buy every week are new products. 70% roughly are products or deals that I already knew about. And just think about that. Over time, building up that list of replenishables is going to just have a massive impact on your business, and it's going to mean that you don't have to work so hard to keep buying more deals. So number one, and I stress this, build up a list, recheck those deals. It's going to make such a difference. Now, number two, I talk about this is build a team. The reason why I say this is I've learned this myself. I am my biggest problem in my business. I wake up some mornings and I really can't be bothered, or sometimes I'm ill, I'm sick. I cannot do this journey on my own. And if I want to grow this business beyond £2,000 profit, I definitely cannot do it on my own. In my business right now, we have 6 VAs, 1 purchasing manager, 4 sourcing VAs, and 1 admin VA. And quite simply, they run the business for me. They are fantastic. But I need a team. Now for you, what I really recommend, if you're going to go to £2,000 profit, make your life simple, get yourself 2 sourcing VAs. You could probably do it on 1 if you wanted to, but I reckon 2. I just really like having more than 1 because it gives me a bit of variety, and also as well, it has a team. I really love building teams. And that's about scaling next. So 2 sourcing VAs, I really recommend that because they are going to find you the deals. Then your job is quite simply buy the deals, check replenishables, maybe if the team aren't doing it, and do the administration. It makes your life so much easier. Sourcing VAs are going to cost you, for us in the FastTrackFBA Academy, we recommend about $3 per hour, and it's going to be about £380 per month. So we'll factor that into our calculations. If you are interested in getting a VA, have a look down below. I'll drop a link to the VA Academy where we hire and train them for you. So number 3, talking about costs, targets, things that you need to get involved with. So controlling your costs. What I'll do is I'll do a screen overlay and show you what I'm talking about here. So let's go through it now. Okay, so first things first, within your costs, what would you be looking at? Well, quite simply, I've taken a rough estimate of what costs I think a typical business should have to achieve the kind of profit and revenue figures that we're looking at. So first things first, let's go through it. So you've got Amazon Seller Central account, and that's going to be £30. That's professional. You want that. Number 2, FBA multi-tool. This is like a calculator tool. I really recommend them. It's going to speed up your deal sourcing. Keeper. You don't need this because FBA multi-tool does have it involved, but I like them. I really like it. I just find it so much more accurate about finding the right deals. Keeper, I really love. Then I think it's very important to understand profit calculations. Now, Seller Toolkit is one that we use, and because we're going over that threshold, Seller Toolkit handles it slightly differently to something called Seller Board, which I do like as well. The Seller Toolkit I recommend. Again, I recommend that there. It's going to be about £35. Now, quite simply, a repricer, we use Repricer Express. There's a lot out there, £50 I'm putting in, and you can find cheaper ones, so don't worry about it. What I will say is I'll drop a link down below to a PDF I created with links to all of these, but also as well, it has some affiliate links of mine in there, but also they have additional trials, discounts off on them, so do check that. It's going to help you out. And we break it down what tools you need step by step. So they are the tools. Now, quite simply, I've also talked about it. 2 sources, £380 per sourcer. That is going to be £760. Now, in addition to that, I'm probably going to say you're going to be doing your own prep because it's keeping it in-house, keeping your costs low. Now, I basically talked about 2% of theirs, like the revenue, but quite simply, what are we looking at? About £300 per month on prep. Now, that might change, but these like boxes, bundles, labels, sticky labels, etc., things like that, they are ongoing costs you're going to have. So when you add up all these costs, and it's important to understand your costs, how much you're looking at? Well, £1,210. So that's the total cost that we need to cover. And then we need to add on our profit on top of that, and then we can work out how much revenue we need to make through our selling of the products. Okay, so we've got a cost of £1,200. Now, quite simply, remember, we want to be making £2,000 profit. Now, the next thing I'm going to put in is profit of £1,500, and I'm going to say, bear with me. I'll explain why at the end. So we're going to look to make £1,500 from our business. So quite simply, if we need to make £1,500 profit and we've got costs of £1,210, quite simply, you're going to be looking to make a gross profit of £2,710. If we assume that you work on an ROI, return on investment, of 30%, we can then work out how much money we need to spend on stock. So quite simply, this is your £2,700, £2,710 divided by 0.3. Now that means we need to spend £9,033 on stock. And if we achieve a 30% ROI on that stock, we will be making £2,710. Simple. So that is how much money we need to be spending on stock every single month to generate £2,710 worth of gross profit. Out of that 2,710, we need to take away the £1,210 worth of costs, and that's going to leave us with £1,500 worth of profit, which is very much on the way of where we want to be. Okay, so now working on the assumption that we're going to buy something for £10 and sell it for £20, i.e. pretty much double, then what does that mean for revenue? So we're going to be spending £9,033 worth on stock every single month. And if we're going to be doubling that to make our revenue, we're going to be making about £18,000 worth of sales every single month. Now, that is going to net down to us to generate, we already know, £1,500 worth of profit. So what does that mean from a financial perspective? We're going to be making a net margin of 8.3%. Now, that's okay, it's not huge, it's pretty much about where I operate my business, and I think for you, you can do much, much better than that as well, but I'm being conservative here. Most people talk about a 10% net margin is where you want to aim for, but quite simply for you, aiming at about 8.3, that's fine. At least if you can work on this and you make some improvements, you're going to do really well. Now, the one thing I'll say is I talked about making £2,000 profit, but for some weird reason, I only said 1,500 in my calculations. We are £500 short. Am I going crazy? No, not at all. Let's explain where the other 500 will come from. Now, quite simply, this is going to be through cashback, £500 per month through cashback. And how are you going to do that? Now, quite simply, we are going to be looking at getting probably 2 complete savings accounts. You can set these up. You just need to use different credit cards. Just use different cards, they work fine, and different bank accounts to accept the money in. Now, they have a limit of £250 cashback that you can achieve through each account, but I probably wouldn't recommend going over 200 per account. And quite simply, so that's going to make 400. And then in addition to that, maybe £100 from Quidco, top cashback, or maybe cashback credit cards as well. Now, the reason why I say use cashback rather than grow the revenue is because you're probably going to add another £5,000 worth of sales you've got to generate to get that extra £500 profit in your business, whereas you can generate £500 worth of cashback from the existing £9,000 worth of purchases already. That's really easy to do. So don't work harder than you need to. Make sure you're maximizing the purchases you're already doing by using cashback credit cards. That's going to be super, super important. Now, the one thing I will say, if you want to learn more about cashback, be sure to check a video. I'll put a link up here where I talk about how I do my cashback, how much cashback I make, and top tips for you. Watch that, it's going to help you. Now, top tip for you guys, I've been quite conservative with this calculation to just make sure that you kind of get an idea of where you need to be. We're basing it off a 30% ROI. If you can do exactly the same process and do it off a 40% ROI, it's just going to mean that you have to spend a lot less on your stock. Now, if I do a quick calculation, I can tell you how much you might need to spend on stock to generate the same amount of profit, but from a 40% ROI. So we need to make £2,710 worth of gross profit, and we want to divide that by 0.4. So instead of having to spend £9,033, if you could just achieve a 40% ROI, all of a sudden now you only need to purchase £6,775 worth of stock every single month to generate the same amount of gross profit. Now, if we work on the buy for 10, sell for 20, that's pretty much going to be about £13,500 worth of sales. A lot easier to do rather than 18,000, and that's just by tweaking that ROI from 30 to 40%. So top tip there, it's going to really help you out. If you can maintain a higher average ROI, you are going to make it so much easier for you. And hey, maybe you don't even need the cashback. Maybe the cashback's extra and you hit 2,500. Now that leads me quite nicely to talk on to about what's the one most important factor in generating £2,000 profit per month. Well, quite simply, it's having the ability to buy deals, and we already talked about it, spending £9,033 per month on deals. Now, I've talked about sourcing VAs. Maybe you are not there ready to get sourcing VAs yet. You're looking to get started. Quite simply, what do you need? You need deals. So I really recommend you have a look at FastTrackFBA Leads. What is this? This is a service that I created whereby we have our own VAs working 7 days a week finding deals for you. What do we do? Quite simply, get all the deals that they find, put them onto our web portal, and you can see every single one of them. What do you then do? You look at all the stats, the profits, the ROI, find the ones that work for your business, and then quite simply, you purchase tokens from us and you use those tokens to unlock the supplier URL and the Amazon ASIN, and then you can go to the supplier, buy the product, resell them on Amazon for profit. We've got some great deals on there. You can see everything, and even special deals which we believe are ungated for new sellers. So if you are interested, have a look down below, FastTrackFBA, and look at our leads. That's going to really help scale your business and grow you to new heights, and hopefully 2,000 profit and beyond per month. Now that leads me quite nicely onto number 5, top tips from my personal advice and my journey over the last couple of years. What can I recommend to you guys if you are looking to get £2,000 and beyond profit per month? Okay, so first things first, what I'd really recommend is KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. And you know what? I was stupid. I really was. When I first started out, I looked at what other people were doing and I tried to create software to make it faster, more efficient. And you know what? It just took so much time and it increased my costs, and it wasn't generating revenue for quite a long time. Top tip for you guys, don't reinvent the wheel. See the models which are working. We talk about them here on FastTrackFBA all the time. Just replicate that. Make it simple. Generate the cash. That is the important thing. Number 2, I talked about it before, know your numbers. I think you'd be surprised at the number of sellers who, while they might know their revenue, they don't actually know their profit figures. I would be on top of that every single month. The worst case scenario, but ideally every single day, I'm going to be using something like Seller Toolkit to support me in understanding my profit from my business. And I also know my fixed costs, so I know how much profit I need to generate every single day in order to cover my costs. So know your numbers. Now, number 3, I've seen it time and time again with new sellers. They spend all day looking at YouTube videos, watching, talking in Facebook groups. You know what? That's good, but it doesn't help your business. What's the one thing that helps your business? Taking action. And I would literally say it to you, every single day, you've got to do at least one thing on your business. Don't look at just YouTube videos. Don't just talk on Facebook. Take action. Do something new. It's that action which is going to push you forward, not the learning. Now, I talked about it in this video. This is about how much money you need to spend on the number of deals, or how much money you need to spend on deals every single month in order to achieve the revenue to make the profit that you want. We talked about it here. If you're running a 30% ROI, quite simply, we talked about £9,033 per month. Now for you, break that down into 4 weeks and aim to spend that amount every single week. Find the deals, buy the goods, spend that amount of money. I cannot stress that enough. The revenue will come, but every week, understand how much you need to spend and spend it. That's the important thing. Action, action, action. And then finally, number 5, enjoy the ride. Honestly, I cannot stress that enough. I've been here in Mexico. I've worked super hard for the first 2 months and I've not seen anything. But quite simply, we do it all in our businesses. We're so focused on getting out there and drive, making sales. Sometimes we don't get to enjoy the life. Remember, you've only got one life. Yes, work damn hard, but also make time to recognize and reward the hard work and success that you're having. So Take a day off, go for a walk, spend some time with the family, take yourself out for lunch, enjoy it, enjoy the ride. You've only got one life. Now, quite simply, that is everything from me. What I'm going to say is hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give me a big thumbs up, and hey, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more video content like this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you a video around here about Amazon fees, how much all the fees are and what they are. Watch it. It's going to really help you out if you're starting on Amazon and want to understand the costs and what the hidden costs are that you need to know. But for me, Thomas Parkinson and FastTrackFBA, thank you very much.